say which side pulled the trigger first. Erusia deployed an automatic intercept system with drones. Osea implemented long-range attacks to bypass them. So Erusia decided to sabotage Osea's communications and navigation technology. Erusia couldn't launch a satellite themselves, but they were still able to hack the software of the Osean transmission and navigation systems. Before Osea even noticed, half of their satellites were hijacked. That's when things got ugly. In an attempt to knock out each other's capabilities, both forces launched fighters loaded with anti-satellite missiles at the same time. Only military satellites were targeted. However, their destruction created a debris field in orbit, which wiped out scores of other satellites, both private and government-owned. What kept the world relatively sane up to that point had been free-flowing data and information. But now, those were gone. All that remained was chaos and confusion. Government and civilian broadcasts and transmissions were cut off. The flow of information had ceased. Forces on both sides of the conflict now found themselves unable to communicate with their superiors. Many of the smaller countries annexed by Erusia and yearning for their independence seized the opportunity and started their own uprisings. As for why some of Osea's military decided to break off from the main force and continue on their own, I have no idea. Perhaps there was some sort of dispute over the chain of command. The continent that had once seen wars that were only fought between Osea and Erusia was now full of numerous conflicts between rival leaders vying for power. Insurgencies were everywhere. I even heard a rumor that a group of Osean convicts had rebelled. Rumors. It never ceased to amaze me that even at a crazy time like this, something as trivial as a rumor could find its way here. Communications from corporate were cut off. Apparently, the entire computer network was down. It was a wise decision to make our drones autonomous with AI instead of being radio-controlled. Wise and forward-thinking. Even with their GPS offline, they can still use their sensors to navigate as long as they're working properly. I'm sure the drones are still working perfectly, following their mission orders to the letter. I wish I could upload Mihai's new data to them. But without a connection, I can't upload the software to the active drones. The new ones we're making, though, there should still be enough time to upgrade those before they're activated. I'll be taking the data I've acquired away from the front lines now. Oh, and I'll be taking the girls, too. I told my assistant Masa it was time to get Mihai's granddaughters ready to leave here. She's not much older than the girls, but she has a way about her, and I'm sure she won't have any trouble with them. I saw a plane flying off in the distance. I imagine it was looking for a safer place. The plane had a rose emblem on it.
Erusia's communication networks have been down since their satellites were destroyed. Unfortunately, we are experiencing trouble too. All of Usia has been affected, and we don't know when things will be back up and running. We're not even sure if this is Erusia's doing. Still, we will follow the strategy that was originally planned, and move on to the next operation after liberating Farbanti. Let's get to it. Since the war began, we've been receiving communications in secret from an officer in the Erusian army.
With the capital under our control, Erusia's radical element is losing support quickly, affecting the balance of power.
HQ is thinking of using the military officer as a way to gain leverage to settle peace negotiations. The officer is currently hiding in the outskirts of Anchorhead Bay, having joined up with support dispatched from the Osean army. The plan is that they'll take a standard vehicle to a rendezvous point at a harbor in the east part of the city, where a helicopter will be waiting.
I would like the new Strider Squadron to provide escort for the officer. Cyclops will remain at the base on standby to serve as defense.
With the communication network currently down in the capital, I very much doubt Erusia will be able to mount a regimented counterattack. However, it is likely that Erusia's intelligence department and the remaining forces who are aware of the officer's movements will interfere. Keep a close eye on the officer and make sure he stays safe. Our victory in Farbanti has given us a golden opportunity to finally end this war. Be safe out there.
Take note that our satellite-based IFF has become unreliable following the recent communications failure. As such, target ID will be done by processing the images from the infrared cameras on your aircraft. Objects will initially appear as unknown on your HUDs, but will be ID'd once you close in on them for a set period of time.
Strider Squadron, you're cleared to taxi.
To the unidentified Osean craft, this is Captain Carl of the Osean Army. Are you here for the escort? You're not the squadron I was expecting. Are you really friendlies? Over.
This is Longcaster. Airborne warning and control system for the Osean Long-Range Strategic Strike Group. Captain Carl, they're on our side.
And those two pilots we've heard about must be here too.
Okay, I hope you're right. Longcaster, are all of these really unknowns?
It's a state of civil war. The Erusian army is fighting itself. There's no guarantee the Oseans won't shoot us in this confusion.
We'll image process the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend or foe. The process will be faster if you get a close-up, well-centered image.
Meanwhile, we just run if they shoot us, right?
Affirmative. Always identify your target before you fire.
Something I'll never get used to. Tonight has been a total shock. The city under martial law. Gunfire and the roar of jets echoing through the streets.
Give me Strider Squadron's IDs. Oh, and hand me that sandwich. Whistle away. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
Squad, friendly hello in front. Patriot
objective.
How this war ends depends on this mission. I'm counting on you.
Understood.
We're the ones on the radio. We don't know our location. Give us orders.
We have no orders, but we do have ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Roger that.
Strider Squadron, identify the unknowns along the route. It's a Russian.
They are responding aggressively.
General, if they're conservatives, they'll listen to us. The negotiations were a success, Lancaster. They've opened up a path for us. The more the merrier.
Strider 1, target destroyed.
Somebody take out those Allied planes behind us. We can't see the tops of the roofs from down here. Be on the lookout for enemy ambushes.
ID'd as Osean forces. This is AWACS for the LRSSG.
Our info has been updated.
Made it through the Anchorhead Bay area. We're heading along Highway 208 under the bridge. We're taking the coastal highway at the next ramp.
All right.
There's a strict curfew, but people gather at bars and other places to learn what's going on.
This is a message to all of you fighting out there. Ask yourselves, what is best for our country?
ID'd as a Russian military.
You want us to wait and see if they're friendly?
Wait. The General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General LaBarge are the real patriots. Onward!
Caution. Pull up. Missile. 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 Missile.
There's a vehicle up ahead. It's gonna ask us to pay a toll. Get closer and find out if it's an enemy vehicle.
We'll go. Let's go.
There's a vehicle blocking the road.
Missile.
No response to the haters. It's the radicals.
Target is hit.
Breaking! Breaking! Take on me! Failing!
Stall warning.
Nice work. That takes care of that one. We're heading for the highway. Thanks to you. Got out of paying that toll.
This is AWACS Argus. Those who can hear us are our allies.
Stall warning.
Your new orders are to dispose of Eduard Labarth. The Osean Army officer with him is an imposter.
We're almost at landfill number 7. If we can make it through, we'll be in arm's reach of the rendezvous at Grunder Park. Captain Carl, do you have the means to record this conversation? I wish to explain to you the situation inside Erusia. I'm sure the boys listening upstairs will record it. The open declaration of war, expanding the front lines, was all the work of some young Erusian officers.
Stall warning.
They were referred to as the Radicals, but there was an unseen force guiding them. It was technology they borrowed from the Belkans. They actually went to war. The performance of the attack drones exceeded their wildest dreams. And they were incredibly clean, which got public opinion and the opportunists within the military on their side. They even manipulated the princess. The Belkan technology advanced UAV research within the Erusian Flight Test Center by at least 10 years. They used the flight data from a former ace pilot to create drone AI, but to us it's no different than magic or alchemy. Airplanes are meant to be flown by human beings. For those of you listening in, am I wrong? We're heading towards Grunder Park. Rendezvous point is the helipad on this man-made island. We'll ditch the car and take the helicopter from there.
Stall warning.
Enemies got locked.
Members of a military group calling itself the Free Erusians. An unknown is blocking our scheduled route.
No response. Got a bad feeling.
You're in their sight, Strider 1. Strider 4, Fox 2.
are as follows. 263 Tango 4, 199 Delta Lima. Rescue team says hostiles are making the area too dangerous.
Well, yeah, don't they go nowhere safe?
Ocean forces at landfill number 7. This is AWACS Longcaster.
This fall has led to another power struggle within the emerging military.
It's all gone to hell. Even radio chatters about the Civil War. Radio? You have one in your cockpit? Yeah, ever since my previous squadron.
We're about to cross Anchor Bridge. There'll be nowhere to hide.
That was something.
An armored vehicle's behind us. It's a vehicle used by the Erusian forces. Take it out!
Trigger, our VIP is in trouble. Clear the way for him.
We're taking fire! Take care of them! I didn't think we were gonna make it, but you saved us. Thanks. What's wrong with drones? Whether you're a patriot or not, you're just too stubborn to change with the times. The general is speaking with the commander.
Fire with the Ocean aircraft. General's orders.
We've almost reached the container area. Watch out for enemy ambushes.
Understood. System failures caused friendly fire incidents among Ocean forces. There are even rumors of penal units turning on their former allies. The main conflict concluded. Regional forces in the center, south, and east are struggling for stabilization of the nation.
It's Erusian. Shoot it down.
Trigger, that one's Ocean. Do not attack before target identification is complete. The General's vehicle is under attack. Our VIP is taking fire.
I'm hit! Get this guy off my back! We made it somehow. Try to get off your ass a little faster next time. We're coming up on a tunnel. We'll need to split up until we reach the exit. There's more to Belkin technology than just UAVs. Taking IFF designations for one was an astonishing feat. Used specific drones that resembled Ocean fighters. And then to assassinate Harlan and put blame on enemy fighters. But in the end, Belkin technology only brought chaos to the world.
I can't believe Erusia is responsible for Harlan's assassination.
You talking politics? That's new.
Can't ignore a story like that, right, Trigger?
ID is Erusian military. Strutter wanted down.
Bad news. Hostile armored forces outside of the tunnel. I'm thinking that we should go say hi before they ruin the General's day.
Missile away.
The General's a real celebrity. Seems everyone wants to meet him.
We were nearly done for. I couldn't have asked for a better time.
How'd you last, Longcaster? We've been briefed and we're here to help.
Nice. Glad to see the OCS attacking the radicals. Maybe we should join up with them if it means getting rid of those assholes faster.
It's ID'd as Erusian.
Fire for the next half hour.
Regional is partly fighting within these fronts.
We've reached the industrial zone. This should be the new rendezvous point. The coordinates are up ahead. Take out any enemies in the surrounding area.
Glad we're waiting. Don't worry. Won't let anybody through after you.
Almost at the rendezvous. The rear to the others. Understood.
The radicals truly believe boosting drone productions will make up for our losses. They should be taking responsibility for the capital's fall, but instead they're prolonging the war. That is why proper conservatives like myself are moving to regain control. getting out of here. I've had just about enough of this place. I'd like to offer my thanks to the LRSSG. It should finally bring about a true end to the war.
Understood. Good luck. Multiple unidentified aircraft approaching.
This plane is carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer. Weapon use is prohibited.
What's going on? Dr. Schroeder!
Whoa. There's a girl on board?
He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No. Unless she's a soldier.
Missile.
Weapon use is prohibited. We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
That's the aircraft we got that I told you about. The one with the scratches.
Missile.
There it is. The EAFA liaison plane.
Missile.
They engage in witchcraft with Belka technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Wait, unknown's attacking the girl's plane.
Hold on tight.
Lancaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
They could be Osean fighters. ID them ASAP.
Shit.
That's all we can do.
ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp.
Uh-huh.
Right, I'm shooting him down. Any complaints?
Missile.
Granted.
Wilco.
Wilco. Wilco.
Missile.
I'm here to deal with that traitor.
Don't miss.
Aim carefully. Strata 1, target acquired.
Break!
Strider 3 launching missile.
Regal 5,
Yeah, good work. Strider 1 has killed a bandit.
Missile.
those guys are good.
Missile.
Wait, you don't think it's supposed to get big shots too? I managed to catch a glimpse of the 3 strikes.
Missile.
Mine. No good. Shit.
Fox 2.
Bandit destroyed. Well done.
You're in my way.
Enemy on your back. Strider 3 launching missile.
Target acquired.
Nice kill.
Good work. All hostile aircraft eliminated. The liaison is safe. Wait.
The escort fighter is... the drive. They're missing the drive.
What the hell? You gotta be kidding me. Liaison escort has a radar lock. They're targeting you guys.
What the hell? We were just helping them.
Erusian aircraft, this is AWACS Lancaster. Do not engage the liaison. Break off now.
Can you hear me on this channel, Osean craft? Those escort aircraft are drones. They are currently being operated autonomously. They are not being controlled by anyone. They are flying on their own volition.
What?
In that case, we have no choice but to shoot the aircraft down.
Unfortunately, yes.
Missile.
We did what we could.
Missile.
Weapons free. We're cleared to attack the escort.
Missile. Missile.
Wilco. Understood.
Wilco.
Can't afford the MQ-99 launch. Our commands are overridden. They must be accessing it remotely. Which unit is behind pointless.
Hey, it's not our fault you won't listen to reason. Why build something like that? Whoever did is the king of all dumbasses.
Something else entirely.
Additional hostiles inbound. Great timing.
Son of a bitch.
Missile.
Activation rights to gain more allies. Clever.
Missile inbound. Drinking.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Target acquired. Five bandits remaining.
Missile.
Damn it. They don't have the drive they need.
Target is down. Four bandits left.
There has to be a time that should not function.
Missile. Stall warning.
Strider 1, missile launched. Three bandits to go. Warning, enemy has a beam on you.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Two bandits left. Show them what you got.
Missile.
One bandit to go. Strider 1, target acquired.
Watch 2.
Missile. Missile.
You're out of chaff and flares.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Missile.
Strider 1, that's what I like to see. Another story to tell my boy.
Understood. All hostiles have been eliminated. Nice. General's helicopter is flying safely outside Anchorhead Bay. All aircraft, RTB, mission complete.
All hostiles, huh?
General, the Ocean aircraft is here to pick us up. The approaching Ocean aircraft.
Losing his army? Elaborate. They stole our sealed orders. It should be a piece of cake.
Were you sent by the General's staff? No, we'd like you to send... I can't!
There are 3 scratches.
What does that mean?
The tail of that plane.
Lancaster, are all of these really unknowns?
It's a state of civil war. The Erusian army is fighting itself. There's no guarantee the Oceans won't shoot us in this confusion.
We'll image process the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend or foe. The process will be faster if you get a close-up, well-centered image.
Meanwhile, we just run if they shoot us, right?
Affirmative. Always identify your target before you fire.
It's something I'll never get used to, but tonight has been a total shock. The city under martial law, gunfire and the roar of jets echoing through the streets.
Give me Strider Squadron's IDs. Oh, and hand me that sandwich. Missile away. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
Friendly hello in front. Patriot of my duty is calling. Nice work, Leos 2. That's a confirmed How this war ends depends on this mission. I'm counting on you.
Understood.
We're the ones on the radio.
In order to respond to the attack on the base,
the island we went to was supposed to have been secured by the ground forces. They hadn't gotten a handle on things by the time we got there, so now we were stuck in the middle of a half-assed campaign. My job was to get the planes ready for combat, making repairs and handing them over to our troop of cons. Thing is, the enemy still had the hangars. The comms were still down, so none of us knew what the hell was going on. The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit was that some prisoners from an Osean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right. I wonder if any units like ours were out here, creeping around. Hearing the Osean jets firing at each other overhead chipped away at morale. Since the radio was out, it was quiet. I liked it better that way. All I heard was the gunfire. Here we were, walking around carrying rifles. We were pilots, damn it. Friendly fire will probably kill us. You know things are desperate when the guards that used to lock us into solitary are now telling us it's better we all stick together. I guess they think our odds of surviving this war are better that way. After walking for miles across the battlefield, we came across the wreckage of a plane. Passenger, not military. I knew that rose. It was an Erusian liaison plane. The guard's dogs smelled something and took off. They led us to a cliff. And the bodies.
Today, I lost everything. When Osea attacked our capital, my father, a man who was never really suited to being the king, was killed. I was to be flown out of the war zone to safety, but the plane was shot down by rebels. The entire crew was killed in the crash. Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend. After all those speeches I gave about working together for peace, I thought everyone felt the same as I did. I'm sure the soldier who shot at me knew I was the Princess of Erusia. He was Erusian too. More soldiers have come. Now, there is no one left to protect me. I am so numb, I cannot move. I watch as one of their dogs approaches. It sniffs mournfully at my dead friend. I wonder if it grieves for him as much as I do. I can barely think. I feel weaker by the minute. I don't know who these soldiers are with, but I managed to take a sip of the water they gave me.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days. They gather around me with grim looks on their faces. What would they do if they knew I was the Erusian princess? After searching the cockpit of the plane, the woman who spoke to me before came back to me.
This is an air-to-ground tactical radio. It still works!
I noticed she walked with a limp. She knelt down next to me and asked her companions to give me some food. And then, Very softly, she said.
You see, I used to listen to your broadcasts, Your Royal Highness. Just what did you see here?
Okay, enough talk. Your opinions have all been taken into consideration. Beyond the seizure of Forbanti, which is important, and supporting the Erusian officer, at this point, I just don't know what our strategy is, or what our mission will be. Radio communication is still patchy for both the military and civilians, so we're getting zip from Mission Command about our orders. Still, with countless Erusian forces in the area, it's too dangerous for us to stay around here waiting for a miracle. Now, regarding Count's suggestion to think about self-defense, I think we should make a break for Tyler Island. It was a large Osean base before the start of the war. Count says his previous squadron took part in an operation to seize control of the island. It has the only base that will get us to the space elevator without refueling. It's also a transport facility for supply ships that provide drones and ammo for arsenal birds. For the Osean forces that are looking to reclaim the space elevator, those are two great reasons in its favor. If everything went according to plan, the base may already be in Allied hands when we get there. Though based on what Count told me about the island operation, it won't be easy to seize control.
If the ground troops have managed to open the bridgehead, the transport route to Osea for supply ships should be available.
So much at stake, I can't imagine Erusia just giving it up without a fight. Things could really have gone bad.
Even if there are enemies left, they should be pretty easy to suppress.
I just want to go home, man.
Me too.
With that look on your face, Trigger, I know exactly what you want to do.
If Trigger's ready to kick ass, then so am I.
Damn straight. We're with you, Trigger.
It's decided then. Let's get all the aircraft and haul ass to Tyler Island. Although we can avoid the Arsenal Bird's anti-air network, there's still remnants from the Erusian forces. I want to get to the island without getting into any unnecessary combat. Pick a fast craft and fix it how you want. Pack for a long trip, but remember, if you drag your ass, you'll get left behind.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
This is Tango 2-3, pursued by multiple tanks and APCs.
They'll all go down if we don't pull back the landing craft. And what? Abandon Tango 2-3?
Something's not right.
Tango 2-3, we don't have the firepower to assist you. You're on your own.
Please, we need help!
Wagtail is on the Osean landing ship. What's going on? What did you say?
Multiple bogies inbound.
Caution.
Damn it. Prepare for anti-air combat.
Caution. Pull up.
This is the AWACS Lancaster. The aircrafts in your area belong to the LRSSG.
Allied aircraft. A retreating vehicle is taking fire. Requesting assistance.
Roger. ID complete. Target acquired.
Shit.
Update us on Tyler Island.
Couldn't be worse. Our forces are scattered and on the run.
They're on the run?
We were waiting for retreating units here to carry them out to safety.
Friendly birds.
Do me a favor, Lancaster. Many of our allies are cut off. We need support and an escape route.
Understood. We'll do what we can. Let's help retreating Osean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's absolute chaos out there. The Erusians are even starting to fight amongst themselves.
Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
There's more over here. The bodies of dead civilians. I don't think we were part of the fight. Look at that. They're all lined up. 3 strikes, count to 3, and the enemy's gone. Bring the inside.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Hit the gas and don't let up until we reach the extraction point! I don't want to see anyone, hostile or friendly! No, we're not doing that. Some of them aren't even wearing shoes.
Strider 1,
Just got the photograph. We'll head back to HQ soon. Give us another 30 minutes. The men say they want to include their children in proper barricades. Guess what happens here. Really don't want to think about it. Those Erusian bastards. It's a blatant war crime. Take photos of evidence.
Don't pursue too deep. We just need to buy some time. Commander, open the bay until operation meeting time. Move them away from the mass driver.
They're Erusian. Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here?
It's all crazy people.
I count 12 dead bodies here. They seem to be upper middle class. Spaceport's nearby, so they could be researchers and their families. Most likely, they were involved with Delta. Our guys even took out the enemy's air support. What do we do now? Get in the tank!
Allied retreat looks good.
Mission to take back the mass driver. The supply ship is a munitions depot. It's highly combustible.
Strider 1, AA gun destroyed.
Did it! We're moving out! Leave the cat behind! We'll come back to this island one day and send them off properly.
Countdown. Enemies behind the enemy. Grabbing the supply ship. Do the countdown. There's still one arsenal bird left. If we can kill it from above, then Erusia will have a fighting chance.
Thanks, but will we make it in time?
A landing ship is waiting for you.
Right, we leave the wounded. This will guarantee us a one-way ticket to hell. Pretty sure we're there already.
It's the Osean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
We're firing at each other! This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Hold your fire! Confirmed. The info is for Allied AWACS. Hold your fire! Roger. Where are we supposed to leave? Who should we follow?
You guys got out alive. You have time to figure it out.
Cameras to track the supply ship. Don't fight with your backs to the supply ship. It's hit, we're done for.
Get in the landing craft! Many thanks, Longcaster. We didn't have to leave our boys to die.
Understood. Missile evaded.
You only need an hour tops. What's the advantage? Put the enemy down.
Fox 2. All aircraft, search every nook of the island. We're not leaving anyone behind.
Fire! Fire at will! We need more ammo!
I'm on its back.
timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
We need to ID the bogies. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
Bogies inbound. Escort fighters, we're counting on you. Should we fire? Even if we're not fired upon? Of course. Chase off the bogies! There's no way they're ours!
They're starting to fire blindly at us.
Commence Operation
They're
No
getting
Return!
desperate.
These are unguided. Stay on course.
Strider Squadron, you're near an armada of bogies. Identify them.
Missile.
Like an eagle.
Warning, enemy has a beat on you.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Identification complete. It's Erusian bombers and their escorts.
Missile.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers. They'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well. Precision bombing is impossible in these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Strategic bombing. Launch control, this is Flight Command. All systems ready.
This is launch control. The enemy is closing. Confirm launch readiness.
Affirmative. This is our last chance for Operation Feeding Time.
Launch control. Roger that.
Strider 1 was shot down.
Let's help retreating Osean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's absolute chaos out there. The Erusian things are starting to fight amongst themselves.
Destroy target. Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
There's more over here. The bodies of dead civilians. I don't think they were part of the fight. Yeah, they're all lined up. 3 strikes, count to 3, and the enemy's gone.
Our last vehicle has been destroyed. Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Hit the gas and don't let up until we reach the extraction point!
Missile.
I don't want to see anyone! Hostile or friendly! No, they are not combatants. Some of them aren't even wearing shoes.
Stand down.
We're moving out! Leave the dead behind! We'll come back to the island one day and send them off properly. I can guess what happened here. Really don't want to think about it. I just got the photographs. We'll head back to HQ soon. Give us another 30 minutes. The men say they want to at least give the children a proper burial. Damn those Russian bastards! It's a blatant war crime! Take photos right away. More ammo!
Don't pursue too deep. We just need to buy some time. Hold them at bay until Operation Feeding Time. Move them away from the mass driver.
Mr. Erusian! Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here? It's all crazy people.
Our guys even took out the enemy's air support. What do we do now? Send in the tank!
Allied retreat looks good.
I count 12 dead bodies here. They seem to be upper middle class. The spaceport's nearby, so they could be researchers and their families. Most likely, they were involved in Belka.
We are in the middle of a mission to take back the mass driver. Supply ship at the munitions depot is highly combustible.
Three strikes. Parasitic ducks out here.
Getting the landing craft! Many thanks, Longcaster. We didn't have to leave our boys to die.
Understood.
We're outnumbered, taking heavy losses. We can't even run. The enemy will shoot us in the back.
Continue the countdown. Do the countdown.
There's still one RC left. If we can deliver the bomb, then Erusia will have a fighting chance.
runway taken down. Pretty sure we're there already.
Use cameras to track the supply ships.
Don't fight with your backs to the supply ship. If you take, we're done for.
All aircraft, search every nook of the island. We're not leaving anyone behind.
We're down to less than half our vehicle. Good. We need help. Bring all the injured.
Target acquired.
Confirming Strider 1 destroyed target.
This whole operation is crazy. Stop whining.
It's the Osean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
We'll be firing at each other.
This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Hold your fire! Confirm. The info is from an allied AWAC. Hold your fire. Roger. But what are we supposed to believe? Who should we follow?
You guys got out alive. You have time to figure it out. Warning, enemy has a beat on you. Javelin flares launched.
Locked on.
Wait, multiple bogeys from the east.
The timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
We need to ID the bogeys. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
Bogies inbound. Escort fighters, we're counting on you. Should we fire, even if we're not fired upon? Of course. Chase out the bogies! There's no way they're ours! Almost there. Commence operation, no return! These are unguided. Stay on course.
Strider Squadron, you're near an armada of bogeys. Identify them.
Missile.
Warning, enemy has a beat on you. Target was not struck.
Identification complete. It's Erusian bombers and their escorts.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers, or they'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well. Precision bombing is impossible in these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Heads up. These reinforcements are elite.
Trigger, boss, get over here quick.
Grenade locked on.
Had it been our fight, we might have been launched. Your plane will ice up if you stay in there too long.
Graham 7, I'm behind my target. This is Graham 8. I've been hit by a missile. Careful, there's gonna come on.
The bombers are clearing the island. We're running out of time.
Where's the Erusian army retreating?
Launch control, this is Flight Leader. All systems ready. We are go for launch. Launch control. Enemy confirmed that you can confirm launch ready. Affirmative. This is our last chance for Operation Beating Time. Launch control. Roger that.
Lockdown bandit.
Grenade locked.
Target was not struck. More bombers approaching. Intercept them now. Only half the bombers remain. We can't let even one get away.
Graham 7, I'm behind my target. Ready to
I'm on my target's tail.
Missile.
Strider 2, Bugs 2.
Missile. Missile.
Enemy on your back.
All enemy bombers have been destroyed. We did it. Continue with your mission.
Can't we break the enemy and strike them from behind? This is Grim 7, Bugs 2.
Strider 1, we've identified the unknown targets.
Hey, you. Still after the scratches on his tail. You hear me? I need you to help some people. There's a group of refugees surrounded by Erusian tanks right here. Needless to say, their future's not looking too bright.
This is a secure military line. Who is this?
Me? Call me the Scrap Queen.
Lancaster, she's an ally. Trigger and I'd know that voice anywhere.
That voice. So you're still breathing, Sir Count.
Here, let me have a word. Hey, it's been a while. I had a feeling the two of you were still alive. Remember, stick with Trigger and you'll make it.
I have a bit of intel for you. We'll share it if you can help those refugees. Count me in.
That's right.
We've destroyed all of the targets. All bogies should be ID'd now. Mission complete. Okay, Scrap Queen. Send us the target coordinates.
I was thinking about how I'd do that.
Don't you have a laser target indicator?
Why would she?
No, Kinster. And who's taking this to the enemy's doorstep? Not me. Wait, you moron! Wait! What are you doing, dumbass? Here! Tuck right here!
Lancaster, we've confirmed the location of the flare.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Missile.
Hurry!
Missile. Missile.
Target acquired.
Nice job! The enemy tanks are toast. I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap. That took care of them. No civilian casualties? Nice going. Do you hear the singing?
Beginning terminal countdown. Pressure stable. Cooling system is on.
Lancaster, a promise is a promise. Here's the intel. I heard it from an Erusian soldier that defected. The supply ships will be launched soon.
Yeah, that is valuable information.
That doesn't sound good.
But can it be trusted?
Not sure. Heard it from a man who said he wanted to atone for his sins. Up to you to trust him or not.
Understood. Good luck.
Releasing safety.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. 1, 2, 3. The mass driver is accelerating.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver. If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about. We have no choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air defense network. You've got to hurry or you're not going to make it. 3 minutes to the enemy's air defense network.
Missile.
They're faster than I expected.
Missile.
All aircraft, remain on high alert. We got bandits incoming on radar. You're gonna have to forget about them for now. Focus on destroying that supply ship first.
We're sitting ducks like this.
If we let the supply ship get too far away, we'll never be able to catch it.
If we're too close, we'll get caught up in the explosion. The supply ship's in the clouds. We can't find it.
Just avoid the enemy's fire for now.
Okay, but we won't be able to do that forever, you know.
But these guys have a head start.
30 seconds to the enemy's air defense network.
Missile.
60 seconds remain. The missile hit its target. Everybody, keep a safe distance to avoid getting caught in the explosion.
Did you see that explosion? Looks like that's one of them down.
Remember, there are 2 supply ships out there. Hurry up and shoot the other one down.
Didn't think that'd miss. I can't get a lock.
In gun range. Hope you're all enjoying the pretty fireworks. If this thing had any windows, we could have seen it for ourselves. Nice work, team.
We're gonna find ourselves a boat and leave this island. We'll be taking the refugees, along with any deserters from the Erusian military.
Who's the girl that ran at the tanks with the smoke canister? A few more crazies like her, and life down there may have been a tad bit easier.
What do you think would have happened to those refugees if you hadn't intervened? The princess saw what happened. They were little kids.
That's why I like the sky. You don't have to see those types of things.
Does this mean we're that much closer to ending the war?
No, we just basically prevented it from going on forever.
Count's right. We have no choice but to return to our original base. Our base that is nearly out of food and fuel. We need to do something.
Good. Take a seat. Everyone's here. All right. Good work in sinking the supply ships. Not to mention saving the refugees. However, we're in no...
We found a boat, then sailed away from the island. We had to. We didn't belong there. The new guy's name was George. I noticed when the anarchist said his name, he said it with a thick Belkan accent. How did you know that he was from Belka?
Well, both my parents were from Belka, so...
You never told me that. They say that Belkans are known for their conspiracies.
That's just a stereotype. Now, I simply stated my honest opinion and was thrown in jail for it.
The princess sat there looking miserable. That was a dumbass stunt she pulled back there, but it got us on this boat. Take a look at that. This ship is heading for a single rope that's hanging down from the sky. Do you know how far the end of that rope reaches?
Outer space.
No. It is a direct connection to the very potential of mankind itself. Or at least it was until war erupted.
It's my strong belief that the rope might be connected to a very distant, faraway source of great conflict and strife. Even long before the war, the whole world started falling apart once Harling began trying to build it. I often wonder what was going through Harling's mind when he was trying to destroy the very thing that so many people were sacrificed in order to create.
Sacrificed? What do you mean?
Have you seen all of those countless old space shuttles on Tyler Island that are no longer in use?
Yeah. I always thought of them as a good source of scrap. They're an obsolete technology that was abandoned during the construction of the space elevator. Which would mean that if the space elevator was destroyed, it would be that much harder for mankind to reach the stars. Until we find another way.
But even then, Harling still went ahead and tried to destroy it. At the cost of his own life.
That's not the way I heard it. What I heard was that he sacrificed himself to protect the tower from an incoming missile.
Oh, I was told he tried to fly his ship into the tower in order to destroy it.
I wonder which story is true, Your Royal Highness.
I don't know. Looking at it objectively, it's reasonable to believe that Harling had both options before him.
When it comes to which one you think he took, I guess it's like a mirror.
Yes, it is. It's like a mirror looking into your own soul, based on whichever choice you believe it was. At the moment, though, I can only see darkness. I think that thing should be destroyed.
It's time for the briefing. Although, since we don't have any contact with HQ, it's not like this is an official mission. Anyway, it looks like the seizure of Tyler Island and the relief from Osea have been postponed. In the meantime, we just have to do what we can to survive. Since losing its capital city of Ferbanti, Erusian forces have separated into smaller, autonomous factions. It looks like Erusia's largest force and leading faction will pass through the area around this base. The space elevator is significant to them, so they're probably heading there.
Should we intercept?
Why? I doubt they're gonna start a fight now.
Our top priority should be to get home. Let's go already.
Yeah. It's not like we have the supplies, power, or even a real reason to put up a fight. But, what are we going to do if they bring the fight to us? We need to be ready to push them back. If we head inland from here towards Erusia, there's an old castle that's been converted into a stockpiling base. Shalaji Castle. It's currently occupied by some of the Erusian forces that broke off, but we need ammo and fuel. They appear to have converted a freeway into a runway, so we can expect them to have the capacity for air combat. But they'll be easier to handle than Erusia's lead faction. Well, we can't use all our aircraft to attack. The transport carrying the stolen supplies needs support. Okay, Strider Squadron. You head out first, and neuter the dogs at the stockpiling base. Rendezvous with Cyclops Squadron, who will bring the transport. Then we bring the supplies back to this base.
Got it.
Aircraft are our only threat.
Sounds good.
We'll make it. We're all gonna fly home. Together.
Strider Squadron, aircraft prep complete. You're cleared to taxi.
No Osean forces are in the region ahead. No allies here. No need to ID your target. We've set a number of priority targets, focusing on their anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, team, get to work.
Unidentified aircraft, not sure if friend or foe. Fire anyway. We don't have time to be wondering if they're friendlies or not.
So, capture this base and take the fuel and supplies. That's the plan, right, Trigger?
You take if you want to live. That's how it was where I grew up.
I was just double-checking mission orders, Hushin.
Our anti-air guns are destroyed. Abandon and fall back to our rear position. Retreat!
There are 4 vehicles on the road. They don't appear to be military. They're Osean refugees. They must be fleeing since the conflict got worse.
Unidentified aircraft. Identify at once or we'll open fire.
What are they talking about? They already are firing on us. The enemy's confused. I know.
We're all out of ammo. Don't give up. We're not going to lose our country again.
So what's this faction split of the Erusian military?
The autonomous state of Shalaji used to be a nation. The region has always leaned towards independence. Those who want to restore their homelands flock to it. Apparently, their core consists of officers from Vaslij, Shpeiber, and Shalaji.
They're our enemy's enemy, but not our friends.
Stall warning.
Wrongness! We're unable to use the SAMs! Help me!
The resistance is strong. They seem pretty desperate.
Hit them with AA shells and they'll come down.
Warning, enemy has a bead on you.
I took some damage.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Strider 1, target eliminated. They have 4 aircraft! More planes incoming! Fire more missiles!
We're coming up on the castle. Let's hurry up and capture this base so we can get its fuel and supplies. Shit!
I feel like we're a group of burglars.
Don't say that. This is for our survival.
Yeah, I know.
Missile.
Strider 1 at Shalaji Castle.
Take in both civilians and refugees without discrimination. Get away from the stone bridge and take shelter somewhere sturdier or underground. Drop where you are and cover your head with your jet engine. Missile fired. Evading.
Strider 1, target eliminated.
Missile.
Missile. That only scratched me up. Continuing with combat.
Missile.
Strider 1, target acquired.
Sam is out. We're running out of ways to strike back. Shit. We still have plenty of missiles left, and the launcher is toast. Please, somebody answer us.
Ammunition 0.
We've lost more than half of our forces. The battle won't last much longer. Let them have our lives. As long as our nation stands, the young will carry on.
Missile. Missile.
New hostiles. All aircraft confirmed.
Missile.
This town's of high cultural value. It's unfortunate we get bombed like we did.
Missile.
We do what we need to survive, right?
Missile.
Not something I'll tell my son about.
Cancel takeoff. Soul Squadron, stand by.
Negative. This mountain zone was out there. Along with hope of restoration.
Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
As long as we accelerate inside the tunnel, they won't be able to shoot us down that easily.
Hostile confirmed destroyed. Their interceptors are in the air.
All right.
Getting to takeoff speed inside the tunnel is insane.
Soul Squadron, airborne. Shoot the invaders out of our skies. Good luck, Soul Squadron.
Understood it. You are in violation of Shalaji airspace. Turn around or we'll be forced to shoot you down.
This is the Osean Long Range Strategic Strike Group. Land immediately and hand over your planes and base to us.
Missile.
You must be the snowbirds. It's absurd for you to talk in so tough after losing one of your leaders at Fort Monte.
You bastard!
You defile this country. As long as you're here, this country will never know peace. Shit.
Target acquired.
Missile.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Missile. Missile.
Enemy on your back.
Don't let them work together. Back up trigger. Wilco.
Righto.
Stall warning. Stall warning.
Warning, enemy has a beat on you.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Operation pilots are known for their skill. Let's leave this fight to them.
Missile.
Missile evaded.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Enemy on your back.
Missile. Caution. Pull up.
We just need to buy ourselves some time.
Strata 1, target acquired.
Stall warning.
Locked on.
These guys expect us to surrender? I'll kill them myself.
Missile. Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Enemy on your back. I've been spiked. The hell do you know about Wiseman?
Stall warning. Stall
Don't
warning.
underestimate them just because Mr. X is
Stall
here.
warning. Stall warning.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
Stall warning.
These guys are
Missile.
just as responsible for Wiseman.
Missile.
Wiseman hit. He's
Missile.
ejected. Damn. We can't even last long enough to buy ourselves some time.
This, as expected, but a lucky shot would be boring.
Some kind of energy weapon. No, it's a railgun.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east. High-speed projectile launch from an aircraft.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky.
We can still help you.
Missile.
Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I am not that person. Mihai.
Stall warning. Stall warning.
Hustler Team Squad will be retreating. Those fighting below are advised to temporarily withdraw.
Stall warning.
Don't die.
Stall
As
warning.
long as we're alive, our hopes and dreams live on. Hey, look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Negative. It's no good. I can't get close enough.
Leave it to Trigger, and the rest of us will just get in the way. Rest form a perimeter to catch whatever slips through. Welcome. Might just cost us our lives.
Strider 1, target acquired. Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Keep up the attack. Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then, to see if he's truly worthy.
Stall warning. Stall warning.
Hey, look. It's like the sky's been sliced wide open. The experimental unit probably made themselves a new tour.
Something to guide us. I can't think of anyone other than you. Lieutenant Mihai taught me something. True fighters don't belong in the blue. They have no place in the cosmos of the skies. I'm there with the Patrol Unit Air Force I'm fighting against. bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit. Keep firing those missiles until you blow him to pieces.
This weapon is not enough to take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it. There are pilots like you in every generation, and I've found every last one of them.
Trader 1 scored another hit.
He's still flying, but his plane's been damaged. Finish him off, Trigger.
Mr. X is ascending rapidly.
The missiles went straight for the sun. Not a casual move.
Warning, enemy has a bead on you.
Star warning.
Locked on.
Star warning.
These movements,
Star
I
warning.
knew it. Mr. X moves like the drone I saw in Bulgurarest. Maybe you've got it backwards. Maybe the drone is the one that moves like Mr. X.
There's going to be copies of him flying around?
We'd be lucky if they're only in the dozens.
Star warning. Star warning.
Fox 2.
Missile. Ammunition 0. Star warning. Missile.
Fox 2.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going down.
You got him. Trigger has splashed a bandit.
Can you hear me, pilot with the 3 strikes? This was all due to my ego. I unleashed pure chaos upon this world, just so I could keep my wings. Put a stop to the drone production.
Is this a message to Trigger? What does it mean?
I don't think this war is over just because we shot down Mr. X. Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely to end this thing. I just don't know what.